Yep.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Your hard work is finally paying off and you're ready to tackle the world. But are you ready to dress to impress?
If you want to stand out in the crowd as you move from college to career, you're going to need the right clothes.
And that means it's time to up your fashion sense and elevate your style.
We're the Shapes of Style team. I'm Tracy, the one in the middle. I represent the average size gal on our team. And to my left is Vicki, our perfectly petite gal. And to my right is Alexandra, representing all the cool curvy girls out there. If you're struggling to dress to impress, we're ready to help.
That's right, Tracy. Hi there, I'm Vicki, and just like the three of us, no matter what size you wear or how you're shaped, and no matter what your budget is or where your career might take you, we're going to show you just how easy it is to be a super smart shopper.
Alexandra here. Our simple steps for building a versatile wardrobe will flatter you and impress everyone.
Okay, you're wondering right now what qualifies us to be style and image experts. Well, we've all been actresses and models for our entire adult lives, doing everything from modeling in and producing runway fashion shows to posing for print ads and acting in commercials and films.
And in the entertainment business, we learned really quickly that when we dressed the part for auditions, we had a much better success rate at landing the job. We also noticed that no matter how many clothes we had to choose from, there were certain go-to basic pieces we kept using time and time again.
Well, eventually it dawned on us that if we were having so much success wearing those basics to dress the part for work, we could go ahead and use that same simple strategy to dress easily for everything. And that's how our five-step Dress to Impress system was born.
That's enough about us. Now let's concentrate on you. So sit back, get ready to take notes, and cheers, everyone. Here's to always having the perfect outfit.
The bottom line is this: we all have different shapes and sizes, but we all benefit equally when we dress to impress.
Oh, that's right. Today's employers are looking for the complete package. And with so many qualified applicants vying for a position, the way in which you present yourself can be the critical difference that gets you noticed. When you came to school and met your classmates, didn't you form an initial opinion of everyone just by what they looked like or how they dressed? Sure you did. It's superficial and it's not something any of us is proud of. But it is human nature. And guess what? Potential employers, they do the same thing.
They sure do. In fact, a study published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology actually found both your clothing style and your posture make a big difference in the first impression you make on interviews. Research has further proven it takes just 3 seconds to form an opinion of someone based solely on that first look. Oh, that's not much time, is it?
No, it's not.
Not at all. Take a moment right now, everyone, and really think about the impression you are currently making in those critical first 3 seconds. Is your appearance helping you reach your goals, or could it maybe be creating a roadblock? You know, Mark Twain's famous quote, "Clothes make the man," is definitely just as true for women. When we dress well, we see immediate results. Our marketability increases, our confidence gets a boost, and we don't waste precious time worrying, stressing about how we look. So here's our challenge for you. Embrace the concept that first impressions are lasting impressions. And we'd like you to commit right here and now to having a closet full of the right clothes. If you can spell the word dress, we guarantee you can dress to impress. That brings us to D, step 1 in the Dress to Impress process. D stands for discover.
Discover yourself. Take some time to make a top to bottom physical assessment and style evaluation. This personal process asks key questions focusing on what you see as your physical assets, your shortfalls, your style preferences, and style requirements. Let's check out the chart on the slide here and think about which of these key body parts you like best and, of course, what you least prefer. As you make your way down your body, be honest. By really analyzing your physical persona, you can see clearly what you need to camouflage and, of course, what you should show off. Alexandra, can you show us how this works a little more in detail?
Of course I can. Okay, for example, if you feel your strongest asset is your upper body or face, you'll want to direct attention to that area by wearing color and pattern up high and opting for darker slimming shapes below. The slide you see here on screen is a great example of the impact of clothing placement. Notice how different the model's shape appears in these two outfits. Her most streamlined appearance is clearly achieved on the right, where the dark slim skirt balances the colorful jacket and draws attention to her face. The outfit on the left is not nearly as flattering because it's so busy on top with a floral jacket and on the bottom with a colorful full skirt. There's no clear area of focus and the model becomes lost in a sea of fabric. Knowing where to place shape, color, and print to draw attention to your best features is a key dressing strategy that works for everyone, from petite to average to plus.
Okay, thanks so much, Alexandra. Well said. Next up is your style evaluation. Is your clothing preference classic, trendy, sporty? Are you a total mix, or maybe you're completely confused? You're probably going to relate best to one of the styles shown here. But for the employment you're seeking, what image is expected?
Well, regardless of your career choice, it's logical to start with basic mix and match classic pieces. Why? Well, because most business environments still trend towards conservative, and those classic basics are going to always project a professional image.
Yeah, but keep in mind that classic does not have to mean boring. The samples here are great classic items with plenty of style. There's always room in your closet to add trendy or sporty looks, but basics are the smartest go-tos because they're so versatile. We're not saying to abandon your favorite flip-flops and tank tops. We just want you to recognize where they fit in.
Absolutely. You know, we highly recommend you visit our Dress to Impress website. Go ahead and download our detailed version of that personal assessment and then complete it at your convenience. Once you've done that, once you have assessed yourself, you can move on to step 2. You're going to head to the R and raid your wardrobe.
We want you to rummage through everything and take inventory. The raid step is going to determine which clothes stay and which go based upon that personal assessment. You really need to try on everything, and you're going to make 3 piles. As you try on each article, we want you to look carefully at yourself in a full-length mirror from the front and the rear view and ask yourself these 3 critical questions. First up, does it fit?
Second, does it flatter?
And third, last but not least, is it appropriate?
If you answered no to one of these questions, most likely the item is going to go straight to your first pile, which is the place for your disposables.
And if you think something isn't quite working, maybe just needs a little bit of tweaking though to work, go ahead and place that item in your second pile to become a recyclable.
Oh, and if any item is a yes to all 3 questions, it's a keeper. Thumbs up. We'll discuss the others in more detail a little later. But for now, to better grasp this process, let's go back and look closer at those 3 fundamental questions that determine wearability. First, we ask, does it fit? And here are the fit checkpoints that we always use. We're going to take a closer look at each one of these, and you'll see that the slides we have here really do speak for themselves. First up, we don't want muffin tops. You know, when our belly fat bulges above and over our waistband. And pants should not have that unflattering crotch crease, the dreaded camel toe. Look at Gwyneth Paltrow. She couldn't pull it off. I don't think any of us can either.
You got that right. Okay, next, pleats, pockets, and zippers should lie flat. And make sure zippers slide easily too. Buttons should never pull or play peekaboo with your bra. If you need a tank top to go underneath, it's too small.
Jacket fit matters. We should be able to move our arms and shoulders easily in a jacket, and if we can't do that, well, it is just too tight. Sleeve length is important too. A properly fitting sleeve just reaches your wrist joint.
Knits should hold their shape, gently hug our bodies, and not encase them. Pants. This is important too. Our pant hem should break at our shoe if it's a traditional pant cut. We want to avoid the infamous too short flood pant as well as a hem that bunches because then the pant is too long. A hem that breaks correctly is elongating and so much more flattering.
And as for skirt length, let me share this little test that we love to use. Sit down, stand up, and bend over. If more than half your thigh is showing, it's too short. And speaking of short, when you're dressing for an interview, we suggest to keep it modest to slightly above your knee or longer. We always go by the fit and not the size, and we never obsess about the number. It's true that sizes vary from brand to brand, but if I find myself stressing over the number, I just buy the size that really fits and I clip out the label. Problem solved.
We finally have accepted that nothing should be worn too tight. If we have to work to get into it, it just doesn't fit. Does this look like anyone's morning today? I hope not, but I've had a few of those. How about you guys?
My whole high
Sure,
school.
we all have. Oh, and also consider proportion. Coco Chanel was really on point when she said, fashion is architecture. It is a matter of proportions. Finding clothes that complement us is a challenge for everybody because every body is not the same, just like the three of us. Well, since we represent three very distinct shapes and sizes, we're going to go ahead and take a few minutes right now to share some size-specific advice that we believe works for any age and any size.
Okay, let's start with my body type first since I'm the official Missy here, or average size woman on our team, meaning I'm not too big, not too small, and definitely not too perfect either. Average size gals like me, while we have lots of options, but we still really need to know what to accentuate and what to play down, hence that personal assessment. What I can tell you is we can never go wrong with an A-line dress or skirt since it's universally flattering and slimming. If you're not sure what an A-line is, well, it's just like the letter A. It's narrower at the top and it flares gently wider towards the bottom, which is perfect for me since I want to deflect attention from my bottom half. A well-fitted blazer with structured shoulders also looks great on an average frame. Why? Well, because it plays up the waist and plays down the hips. To make us look even taller and leaner, nude shoes are awesome, whether they're flat or high-heeled. We're flattered by any size, eye-catching belt and have more options than petites and curvy gals. Let's take purses, for example, for a quick lesson on proportion. Vicki, Alexandra, and I each have one of these animal print purses you see on the screen.
As a petite, I'd really look like I'm carrying luggage with that big bag.
And as a curvy lady, I'd look more like I'm carrying a change purse with the smallest version.
But I, on the other hand, and my fellow average size misses, can carry all three purses and still look in proportion. No Goldilocks here. To sum it up, being average can be quite empowering since we do have a lot of options. That's enough about us though. Now it's time to find out about those petites. Vicki, what's up with the petites?
Women 5'4" and under like me stay in proportion by scaling our clothing and accessories down, just like that purse tip you just illustrated, Tracy, or should I say you just rubbed in a little bit?
No.
Yeah, I think it was the rubbing in part. Petite brands already have scaled down details, things like smaller pockets and trimmer lapels. Okay, so to help us look taller, we should keep our hem lengths to the knee or maybe even a little bit higher if we dare. Mid-rise pants are our most flattering in either a boot cut or a straight leg style. Loose crop pants can really chop our height, so if we want to wear something cropped, they really need to be fitted. We look taller in monochromatic outfits, meaning they use the same color tone from our head to our toe. And V necklines, they really help draw attention upward to give us a longer silhouette, which is great. Petites are more balanced with small prints and narrow belts. If we want to wear a wide belt, we can do it. It just works much better if it's monochromatic. Pointy-toed shoes and lower vamps will make our legs look longer. That's awesome, but long hair can actually make us look shorter, which we don't want. Short to medium length styles are much more proportional. Well, that is it in a nutshell for petites, no pun intended. Alexandra, What works best for you and your fellow curvy ladies out there?
Well, Vic, it's counterintuitive, but surprisingly so. You're going to find several of the tricks that worked for you, the petite gal, also works for us, curvy
Oh,
gals.
that's interesting.
Yeah. However, first and foremost on our list is to have an arsenal of fabulous undergarments. A correctly fitted bra can make you look 15 pounds lighter. It's true. I'll talk more about that later, but just know that what you wear underneath is critical when you have a little bit more to cover. So, just like petites, we elongate by wearing hems at the knee or slightly above, monochromatic looks, V necklines, and shoes that show some toe cleavage. That's what Vicki really meant when she talked about shoe vamp. Flats, not our best friends. Even if you don't do heels, just a little rise makes a big difference. Okay, some other great styles for fuller figures include bootcut jeans and full-length slacks that sit slightly below the waist to hide any muffin tops, and single-breasted jackets since double-breasted styles are too boxy. Okay, plus ladies should resist the temptation to hide in oversized, shapeless clothing. We might think we're hiding a figure flaw, but truthfully, it can make us look heavier. So tailored dresses and blouses are our most flattering, and we also create shape by wearing a belt to define our waistlines, just as long as it's not over cinched. Or you can even go beltless and select clothes that softly drape over your contours. Okay, so now that you have our fit tips for dressing to complement your specific body type, let's tackle the second key question. Does it flatter? If you don't feel good in something you put on, try to zero in on why. It's probably because you're accenting the wrong body part. People do it. Even celebrities do it.
Oh my gosh, I still remember that Jessica Simpson photo. It was all over the place. And I really felt bad for her, but she was slammed in the press for that style, but I guess it was really her stylist's fault for she needed a lesson on proportion from Petite Vicky.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, she did. Remember, I told you about a monochromatic wide belt. Jessica's definitely a petite, and that belt is not monochromatic. So what did it do? It made her look shorter. Okay, well, besides considering proportion, it's a good idea to consider how colors blend with our skin and hair tones. But remember, we are women, so hormones, hair color, makeup, even something like a spray tan can actually impact what complements our coloring at any given time. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, and if you don't look good both coming and going, it doesn't matter how trendy it is or how much you paid for it or how much you love it on the hanger. If it doesn't flatter, it doesn't matter. Just get rid of it. Don't be emotional, be realistic.
Be realistic. Next up is whether it's appropriate. No matter how much you like something, you have to have some place to wear it, ladies. Outrageous items, they need to go. Or if you can't bear to part with them, at the very least, we suggest you go ahead and save them somewhere out of your everyday closet. Okay, what about t-shirts? We know lots of you have accumulated massive collections by now, and you've got a clean house to create space. If you happen to be super sentimental, there are actually companies out there that will go ahead and make a memory quilt from pieces of your favorite tees. Or if you want to make a memory quilt yourself and you happen to be crafty, we say go for it.
Okay, and once you've handled the fit, flatter, and appropriate test, we want you to head back and concentrate on those piles. First up is the disposables. We say simply get rid of them by trashing them, donating them to charity, give them away, or take them to a consignment shop. So easy.
Wait a sec. What about for nicer items you don't want? Don't forget about those online resale sites where everybody wins.
Oh my gosh, I do stand corrected on that. Online resale is really awesome for really nice items. Okay, next, begin working on your recyclables. I say have a cute emergency sewing kit so you can take care of easy repairs yourself. If you have some sewing skills, consider making your own design changes. And if all else fails, head to a tailor. I go to my mother. The next up is the keepers. They're items that pass your fit, flatter, and appropriate test, and they need to be organized. How you do it? Well, it's a personal choice. Just keep some type of order. But if you're stumped on where to begin, of course we have a few basic suggestions that just might inspire you.
I happen to like to hang each type of clothing together, pants with pants, blouses with blouses. You get the idea, and what do you know? We call this one the look-alike method. This is a great option if, like me, you love to mix and match. Now, a variation of that is the suits and separates method. Tracy likes this one. She keeps all of her suits together, but separates everything else out in her closet. What if you happen to be a person who always wears set outfits and you really don't like to mix and match? Hey, that's okay. You might want to be a totally together organizer where you keep entire outfits together in your closet. I can tell you, totally together is definitely the ticket for a few more minutes of sleep every morning. And it's the ticket for all of us when we're packing for a trip. If you assemble everything you need for each outfit, if you lay it all out in groups before you put it into that suitcase, you're not going to get anything and you're going to be totally together when you get to your destination, and hopefully it's someplace fabulous.
Yes, and great advice there. Let's talk hangers for a minute, though. We think it's essential to use the same type of hanger in your closet. You know, any type is fine, except wire hangers are tough on your clothes. Using the same hanger keeps everything hanging level, so nothing's hidden from view, no more lost items, and guess what? It looks so much neater. Well, what about the items that you love but never wear? Well, this is what we do. We keep them for now, but hang them backwards as we reorganize them within our closet, hanging all the other items normally. Then if we do wear the questionable item, we return it with the hanger placed correctly. Guess what? After a few months, the hangers that are still backwards show us what still hasn't been worn, and it gives us a nudge to just let them go.
Mm-hmm. And I love to make use of inexpensive items to boost space and hide clutter. So most of you've already faced the challenge of squeezing all your stuff into dorm rooms and small apartments, so you already know what a big difference a few organizing items can really make.
And to keep our closets from ever becoming a mess again, we choose an area to drop items, aka our drop zones. This can be a chair, a bench, or even an area on your floor. And on a daily basis, if you're too busy to put clothes or accessories away correctly, simply drop them in this chosen spot. Then at least once a week, take the time to put everything away where it really belongs in the organized closet. The drop zone strategy really does work, everyone, and it keeps us from ever losing control again. Just don't let the drop zone get larger than your closet. That's my only advice.
Good point.
And that's a very critical point. By this point, we've completed step 1, where you discovered yourself. Then we took care of step 2 when you rated your wardrobe. So chances are you're probably noticing you're missing a few key wardrobe items and you want to go ahead and shop, right?
No.
Well, you can't head to the mall just yet. That's right. You cannot. Head back to that word dress and move on to the letter E. The letter E is going to stand for examine.
During the examination step, we assess what we have and we take note of what we need to complete outfits. It's time to make our clothing shopping list.
We all know what happens when you go to the grocery store without a list. Twinkies.
No bread.
And no milk.
And the same holds true for clothes shopping. A list keeps you from getting sidetracked and keeps you on the path to achieving your goal of developing a solid working wardrobe. So by working wardrobe, we mean a wardrobe consisting of clothes that you can wear confidently anywhere, from work to happy hour with friends to special occasions. Your core pieces will be worn time and time again. So think cost per wear. Buy the best quality you can afford for basics because, well-made items last longer.
Ah, yes, but there is a flip side. Here's where it's smart to spend less. Spend less on trendy items that go in and out of style quickly. Less on generics like cotton t-shirts that you're going to want to freshen up more frequently. Less on seasonal accessories that have short use spans. Think things like straw handbags, for example. And it might not be up there, but you definitely want to spend less on sheer hose because I don't care what price you pay for them, they're all going to run.
Okay, so where do you begin? Well, because you want a wardrobe spot on for all occasions, you need to start building up those basics. And we just so happen to have a basics list that we know really does work. And once you have the items on this list, you're always going to be prepared when that important interview comes up or any life event for that matter. You really don't want to stress at the last minute about what to wear or run around borrowing things, or even worse, have to run out and buy something. These items on this list give you lots of versatility with a minimum amount of pieces, so let's get started. First up is that neutral tone three-piece suit. It should be in an all-season fabric. It doesn't have to be boring or bought as a complete suit. J. Crew carries separates that can be put together to make a suit. If you're wondering what an all-season fabric is, it's a lightweight wool or a synthetic blend that can be comfortably worn all year long, as opposed to, say, flannel, for example. That's just for cold weather, and cotton or linen that's only appropriate for warmer temperatures. All-season fabrics are the most practical and definitely the way to go when you're just beginning to build your basic wardrobe.
And we mentioned earlier classic clothes will be your wardrobe building blocks, and that means even if you're going to work in an office with a casual dress code, you still want these basic suiting pieces.
Absolutely. And here's why on screen right now. A suit jacket can be popped over casual pants, and that will instantly elevate your look, say if a meeting pops up. And the skirt or pants to a suit can easily be combined with other pieces that you have, creating a dressed-down business casual ensemble that still looks totally pulled together.
So in other words, a suit doesn't always have to be worn as a suit. It creates a wealth of mix and match opportunities.
Okay, now that we've sold you on the virtues of owning great suiting pieces, you're going to want neutral pumps and a coordinating purse. The shoes and purse you see on screen are ageless. They're not pricey, no fancy logos. To be interview ready, though, choose a closed toe and a simple bag large enough to hold your resume and all your essentials.
You've got to love the basic black dress. You know, the little black dress we all hear so much about. Only we want your basic black dress to not be too little. It should fit you 10 pounds up, 10 pounds down, and keep it simple in shape so you can dress it up or dress it down. Of course, to go along with that basic black dress, you're going to want some dressy shoes and a coordinating purse. And here's where you can go a little bit trendy if you like trendy items.
Sweater sets are fabulous. The cardigan can serve as a light jacket and make strappy and strapless tops and dresses office dress code appropriate. And shells and tank tops are wonderful because they can spice up a suit with a little or a lot of color. Just remember that these accent pieces shouldn't be too low or tight.
Okay, the classic white or ivory blouse. This is my favorite. No iron versions are a plus, and it's a staple in every well-dressed woman's wardrobe.
We all need casual basic bottoms, and for most of us, that really does happen to be jeans, but it doesn't have to be. For you, it might be leggings, a skirt, maybe even fashionable yoga pants. The key is your bottoms have to complement your shape. A brand name means absolutely nothing if those bottoms don't flatter you. Of course, to go along with those, you're going to want a neutral casual shoe. And we don't want you to have unkempt tennis shoes as your neutral casual shoe because style-savvy Europeans have been poking fun at Americans for wearing too many tennies for years, so make sure you step up your casual shoe game.
Be patriotic.
Trench coat.
Yeah, the trench coat with a removable lining. And here's a little trivia. Thomas Burberry invented the trench in 1856 for British soldiers, and it's still in style, and that's because why? It looks polished, yet it's practical.
Well-fitting undergarments. Okay, this picture is worth 1,000 words. Shaping garments like Spanx work wonders and are a must-have no matter your size or fitness level. If the price is prohibitive, Target carries a less expensive brand called Assets, and they serve the same shape-perfecting purpose. Also, if you've never had a bra fitting, it's time. Go to Victoria's Secret and have an expert measure and fit you, or you can even visit a fit expert at a department store like Nordstrom's where the service is free.
Okay, earrings. Gold, silver, and pearl studs are all simple, elegant, and understated. You know, a lot of us depend on our phones to tell the time these days, but if you do opt to wear a watch as a fashionable accessory, it's a good idea to choose a mixed metal option like those shown here because they work well with your other jewelry. Again, it's all about maximum versatility.
Oh, yes, it is. And trust us, these basics are going to become your go-tos when you're making that transition, when you're going from school to career. So what do you want to do? You want to start incorporating these into your current wardrobe as soon as you can. And while you're at it, make sure you evaluate what you buy. Fabric quality, it really does make a difference. Look carefully at the inside of a garment before you buy it to be sure the seams and the linings are well constructed. A good quality fabric, it should do this. It should drape softly from your body just like clothing on a hanger. And you're always going to look better if you go slightly loose rather than too tight, like Tracy mentioned a little bit earlier. If you're really confused at this point about how to analyze quality and fit, head to a store like Nordstrom, J. Crew, Banana Republic, maybe Ann Taylor. Pick out a few basic pieces, put them on, and really check out the details. Then you can go ahead and shop in your price range at a store you can afford for the best quality you can find. The key is do not ever sacrifice the proper fit.
And we never forget to examine the label to see what type of care is required, because dry cleaning can be costly. 100% cotton will require ironing and easily loses its shape, so don't buy it if you won't commit to ironing or steaming.
Dark and bright fabrics lose their color, especially black. So I wash them carefully, and I use detergents designed to reduce color fade, like Woolite you see there on the screen. And white must be white, so once it starts to look dingy, I just simply replace it.
Linen wrinkles easily, so especially for my professional clothes, I opt for fabrics that pass the squeeze test to stay crisp and wrinkle-free. Check out that slide right in the middle, the fist. This is the squeeze test, and it's the one you want all of your purchases to pass with honors. If you squeeze and release it and it's full of wrinkles, pass on it, because you'll always be a wrinkly mess.
Yes, I always use the squeeze test too. Some fabrics easily pick up lint, like dog hair, all over your favorite black Lululemon pants, and my solution is to keep a lint roller or tape handy to easily get rid of it. Clothing maintenance is a big part of presenting a professional, polished appearance. Girls, it's really all in the details.
Remember when I told you earlier you shouldn't blow your wardrobe budget on expensive hosiery? I'm still sticking to that. Definitely don't overspend, but do be careful when you're choosing a nude, because you really want your legs to look natural. If you haven't found a good nude yet, try Hanes Silk Reflections in either the shade Little Color or Barely There. These work great for lots of skin tones.
Like it or not, hose are still required in many conservative work environments. So if you plan to wear a dress or a skirt when interviewing for a position in a conservative field, hosiery is a must. You're better safe than sorry, and hopefully you can ditch them once you land the job.
Yes, for sure. We know you already like to wear, though, things like opaque tights and all kinds of socks, and that's terrific, so keep building up those collections.
Oh, and when you do have to wear hose, keep a small bottle of clear nail polish on hand for run control, and toss any that are snagged and pilly. So much talk about hosiery. Let's move on to shoes. Wiping and polishing your shoes periodically and keeping the tips and heels in great shape will add so much to your overall appearance. Many flaws can easily be fixed. We use Sharpie pens and matching shoe colors to fill in little nicks, and metallic nail polishes for metallic shoe scuffs.
Yes, we become shoe artists. At this point, you have made lots of progress, artists out there. We have covered step 1 when you discovered yourself and your needs, step 2 when you rated and reorganized, and step 3 when you examined what you have and when you went ahead and made your shopping list. The next order of business is up. It's time to style it.
Your own personal style isn't complete with your unique finishing touches. So what do you think is your most important accessory?
I have a hint. It's noticed by everyone all the time, and you can never leave home without it.
Even if you want to. It's YOU. It's you. Your most important accessory is your hair, your skin, makeup, your nails, and scent. They're with you 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Just think about how you feel walking out of a hair salon with a great blow dry. Yeah, nothing else matters. You feel fabulous. So avoid getting into a rut. Once you've been wearing the same hairstyle for too long, just hit a salon for an update. Even a small tweak can make a big difference. We also take advantage of all the pros at makeup counters for skincare and makeup advice seasonally. Being busy is no excuse because of all the awesome YouTube tutorials out there. They're a great way to learn all about the latest hair, skin, and makeup techniques without ever leaving our comfy couches.
I love bold nail polishes, and I always notice other people's hands. So clean and shaped nails speak volumes about you. If you're a regular nail polish wearer like me, repair any chips as soon as possible and be sure to tone it down for the interview until you know it's acceptable at work. As for fragrance, we all want to smell good, right? But we don't want to linger in a room after we've gone, so keep it subtle. And while we're talking subtle, let's talk placement of tattoos and piercings. Until you know a company policy, if you have them in prominent places, it's a good idea to keep them covered or removed. You don't want them to be a deal breaker. One of the things I do is I'm a modeling agency, and even in that artistic field, when a model comes in wanting to be signed and has lots of tattoos, it can really limit her opportunity. So even in that field, just a side note, ladies, tattoos are expensive, so to remove them if you get tired of them down the line, it's tough. You know how we gals love to change our minds.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, that's true. Oh, I've got another impact maker, posture. Good posture is an accessory we don't always think about, but wow, does it make a difference. It commands attention. It makes a great first impression. Here's the best part. It can actually make us look slimmer. So I bet everybody's sitting up a little bit straighter right now, right?
Oh, I am. I am.
I definitely am. Now that we've covered the most important accessory, YOU, let's move on and concentrate on all those other fun accessories, things like belts, shoes, jewelry, the extra finishing touches. With accessories, a little goes a long way. And really just switching a few key pieces can take a simple item like the little black dress you see on screen now from date night to lunch with friends, straight on into the office.
And accessories stretch your fashion dollar. So look for pieces that'll work with more than one outfit, and don't forget to add accessory needs to that shopping list you're keeping.
We are finally ready for step 5. Hey, where's the drum roll? It's time to do it. Yeah, we need a drum roll. It's time to shop.
Either you love it or you hate it, but you've got to do it. We all have to shop. You've made your list. Now let's follow up with some research. We trust and suggest magazines like InStyle, Lucky, People Style Watch, because they all offer practical fashion advice. Love Vogue and high fashion magazines, but they're art and they don't reflect what we wear in our day-to-day lives. We have so many resources available on the internet, including blogs, fashion websites. Why not take advantage of all of them?
And there is no excuse for paying retail. Discount coupons and savings apps, they are everywhere. Everything you need to be a smart shopper is really right on your smartphone. And while we're talking smart, investigating a company's dress code before your interview, that is a really smart idea. That way you can dress the part. It's going to make you feel extra confident.
That is great advice, Vic. Okay, so you've done your research. Now let's get ready for your shopping trip. As I've already mentioned a couple of times today, the right undergarments are a must. Don't try to guess what a gown would look like with a strapless bra. Wear one to shop and you'll see. And also think about being comfy. I either wear shoes in a style that matches what I'm shopping for, or I bring them along in a bag so I can see and not guess. And I shop in simple clothes for quicker trips in and out of the dressing rooms, like no turtlenecks or tons of buttons.
Absolutely, because when you wear a turtleneck, I've done it, your hair is sitting straight up on your head for the whole rest of the day. Definitely not a good thing. Speaking of not a good thing, we all face lots of unflattering dressing room mirrors. So it never hurts to pay attention to our hair and our makeup before we head out. I mean, every little bit helps. And whatever you do, do not forget your list. If you keep it in your phone, I know you're never going to leave home without it. But let's be realistic. This all sounds so foolproof, but what about those times when we see items we want that are not on our shopping list? It's going to happen.
Oh, well, let me tell you what I do all the time. I just put the item on hold. And in most cases, when I get home and look in my closet, I'm happy I stepped away. Even when something is so cheap and such a deal, if it's not on my list, I probably don't need it. But if you do need it, and it was a great item when you got home and looked in your closet, it's going to be waiting for you because it's on hold. Okay, Alexandra, what about shopping with friends? Is that a good or bad idea? What's your thought?
Okay, Trace. All right. I found I really need to beware of the people with whom I shop. Friends are just that, and salespeople want to make the sale. But I ultimately am responsible for making sure each item passes the fit, flatter, and appropriate test. I'm much more inclined to buy something not on my list if I'm with a friend or even with my mother. It's just too easy to be swayed.
So true.
But I said before, nothing is perfect, so we got to admit, even if you take your list and you follow the whole tip and that great friends tip Alexandra just gave, oh, you're probably still going to make a few blunders here and there, but don't sweat it. We guarantee they're going to happen a lot less often.
For sure. And don't be a snobby shopper. Discount stores can be gold mines when you're on the hunt for fashion deals, and look for your biggest bargains at the end of each season. Fall and spring are actually the best times to find all-season fabrics on sale. If you save money on your basics, you're going to free up more money for fun and splurges like a famous label purse, shoes, a piece of jewelry, a trip. The list goes on and on.
Oh, I am liking that list. Our goal all along today, ladies, has been to eliminate wardrobe stress and make dressing fun and easy. We've given you all the tools we actually use ourselves to get maximum use out of everything in your closet. And we've also provided the recipe for creating impressive interview and work outfits. So here's how that recipe goes. Just follow our basics list.
Assemble your collection of classic go-to pieces.
And add a dash of accessories to make the look your own. The list you see on screen now is your cheat sheet for interview dressing, and yes, the little details really do matter. So be sure to take a screenshot of this one, ladies.
And please, please don't take any shortcuts. Simply follow our 5-step strategy and you'll see immediate benefits.
You're going to be more confident in the overall image you're putting out there. You'll be more organized, so that's going to save you money when you shop. And best of all, people will notice you and your fabulous fashion sense. So present the best you possible.
Open doors to your future success.
And dress to impress.
Happy shopping!
Happy shopping!
Happy shopping, everyone. And don't forget your list.